Tennis arrived in the Russian Empire in the 1860s and almost immediately gained enormous popularity among the local aristocracy. Members of the Romanov dynasty also devoted themselves to this discipline. None of them, however, was as obsessed with her as Nicholas II. The 28-year-old Tsar first appeared on a court on June 2, 1896 at his Olinskoye estate, on the outskirts of Moscow. After tea, I went to play lawn tennis with the others, for the first time, the monarch noted in his diary at the time. For the next few weeks, he hardly left the field. Nicholas II gladly played tennis on cold autumn days, when his hands were frozen, and on hot summer days, when his shirt could literally be wrung out with sweat. He played very well, and his opponents, naval officers and bridesmaids, were much weaker than him, said Lieutenant General Alexander Masalov, head of the Chancellery of the Imperial Court Ministry. As a result, tennis courts were built in the residences of Nicholas II near St. Petersburg, Crimea, as well as in Spala, Poland. Another appeared in Finland near the town of Virolahti, where the imperial family liked to spend time. Only the pitfalls offered their majesties a peaceful family life at sea, wrote Officer Nikolai Sablin, who served aboard the imperial sailing ship Standard. When the Romanovs traveled on their frigate in the Gulf of Finland, they regularly went ashore to picnic, walk through the forest and pick berries. It then happened that, early in the morning, the astonished owner of an estate on the Finnish coast saw the emperor on his doorstep, asking permission to play tennis on his court. Nicholas II gladly confronted members of his own family, his ladies-in-waiting, and his escort officers, but the master he had become required a more serious opponent. In November 1913, this finally happened. Indeed, while on vacation at his residence in Livadia, Crimea, the emperor learned that, right next door, at the home of the Yusupov princes, their relative Mikhail Sumarokov-Elston was staying. This young student was, even before reaching his 20s, already became 8 times champion of the country. The Tsar therefore naturally immediately invited the young talent to his tennis court. The rivals played 4 games. Nicholas II eventually lost, but was very satisfied with the process. Today, Count Sumarokov, a young student, the best player in Russia, took part in tennis. There is something to learn from him, he wrote in his diary. Sumarokov managed to hit the Tsar so hard in the leg with the bullet that the ruler fell and had to be bedridden for 3 days, Masalov testified. The poor champion was desperate, although there was obviously no fault on his part. It is said that the Yusupovs severely reprimanded him. Once recovered, the monarch again invited Sumarokov to Livadia, but the champion was already no longer able to play with the same vigor. In 1914, Nicholas II instituted the Cup of His Imperial Majesty, the winner of which was the same Mikhail Sumarokov-Elston. World War I broke out, however, forcing the emperor to leave his racket aside for a long time. In the end, forever.